Hey friend, John MacLennan here, and in this video you're going to learn how to play Trouble No More as recorded by Muddy Waters on guitar. Now this song is an awesome blues to play in the key of A. We're only going to use two chords, an A and a D, what I call the 1 and the 4 chord. And we're going to learn this really classic blues riff as we go through the whole thing top to bottom. But if you're new here, before we jump in, I've got a gift for you. I put together this awesome fretboard guide that's going to show you the 5 must-know chords and scales for basically mapping out the entire fretboard. And this is so useful for blues guitar, and I want to give it to you completely for free. Just go to johnmaclennan.com/fretboard guide or use the first link down below to grab your copy. All right, well, with that said, let's break down this classic from the father of Chicago blues. Let's break down how to play Trouble No More as recorded by Muddy Waters on guitar. Now we've got a 14-bar blues form here. We're only going to use two chords, A and D. We're going to play this awesome classic blues figure off of it. Here's what it sounds like. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so we're starting out on an A power chord here. I'm playing this with just one finger. I'm using my index finger, and I'm covering the 4th and 3rd strings at the 2nd fret. Now we're going to be playing these two notes, and then we're going to be just releasing the pressure like this. So I'm still touching the string, but I just disengage. And that'll stop the sound. And having that sort of staccato feel is a big part of making this riff swing and just sound the way it does. So we're going to start by playing the 5th string open. Then we'll play those two notes there. Now I am using a thumb pick. You could do this with a pick by just going down and then strumming up. But I like this sort of old school blues with a thumb pick kind of feel. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm playing the bass note, pinching those two notes, then resting. So I'm just closing down here and releasing the pressure. Then I come back to that A chord again. So 1 and rest, and 1 and 2 and. Then on beats 3 and 4, I'm gonna go play this really iconic blues walk up, 3rd fret of the 5th string up to the 5th fret. Rhythmically, it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so boom da ba doom ba boom da. So that's our figure, okay? It's 1 bar long. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, then reset. After we do that, we're going to do that 4 times. Then we're going to go to the D chord. So here it is 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to go. Okay, what I did there was I shifted down 1 string. But instead of playing 2 notes now with my index finger, I'm just going to play the 3rd string at the 2nd fret. Now I'm going to play the 4th string open, and then I'm going to strum the 2nd fret with the 4th string open. So those two together. So 1 and, then rest, then strum again with an up. So 1 and 2 and. Then we're going to return back to that 3 and 5 on the 5th string. Okay, we're going to do this 2 times. That's what we call our 4 chord, or the D chord here in the key of A, because this is a blues in the key of A. Then we'll return back to A 2 times. All right, so that's the main part of the song, is just those 8 bars. So I'll put those together. Here's what it sounds like. 1, 2, 3, 4. From there, we're gonna stay on the A chord, that figure, for 6 more bars. So we had 8 bars that we learned so far, and then we're just gonna stay on A for 6 more, and that's gonna give us 14 total. So it's gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then back to the top, okay? Then when we loop that back around, we're gonna stay on the A for 4 more bars. So it's quite a bit of A, you know. You just gotta make sure that you make that 4 chord, that D chord in the 5th bar when the top of the form starts. So remember that form is always gonna come in when the vocals come in right at the top. You got to listen to that melody. And a lot of this, I'm sure, back in the day, you know, the band was watching Muddy and they were following him, you know, and when he came in, that was the top, okay? So here's what that sounds like. I'm going to put everything together. We're going to play 4 bars of the 1 chord, 2 bars of the 4 chord, back to 2 bars of the A chord. That's going to be our first 8 bars. Then we're going to add 6 more bars of just A, okay? Here we go. A 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go to D. Back to A. Stay there for 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we restart. Here's the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go to D. Back to A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so on and so on. That's how you play this tune. So it's just basically that progression over and over. Now, when you end, you basically just hit 4 quarter notes. You're on the A, vamping this, and then you go. You could do 4 strums. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're playing thumb pick, you can pinch. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you just end there. That's an A7, so very common blues chord. I'm extending that A power chord that we were doing. I'm barring all the way to the 2nd string. Then I'm adding the 3rd fret, that note G, on the 1st string. So remember that this starts off just like your typical 12-bar blues, but Muddy stretches it a little bit and just messes with the form. And a lot of Muddy's songs would do this. He would have blues-based chord changes, but it wasn't just necessarily like 12 bars. Sometimes they would be kind of weird lengths. And I think a lot of that has to do with they would be in the studio and then they would just have to follow Muddy. And that's what you have to do when I'm out playing gigs. I'm always listening to the singer and I'm trying my best to follow them and anticipate where they're gonna go and then be able to make them sound as good as possible. So that requires keeping your ears really just intently focused on, you know, supporting the singer and being able to make the song just come off and not have the singer feel awkward, like, oh, the band didn't follow me. And that's a skill you can develop over time, and especially through playing songs like this. And then, of course, playing with other musicians and being able to develop that sort of sense of being able to adapt. And to help you even more with this, be sure to grab my ultimate fretboard guide at the first link down below. And this is going to show you the 5 chords and scales that I use to map out the entire fretboard. And this is so useful for blues guitar and really for any style. When I'm playing anything on guitar, I think about this system. And I want to give it to you completely for free. Just go to johnmaclennan.com/fretboard guide or use the first link down below. Next, before you go, leave a comment down below and let me know your #1 struggle with guitar. Just comment it down below so I can make some future videos here on the channel helping you out. As always, thanks for your support with the videos. We'll catch you in another one real soon.